having the whole world, having the whole world jam into a song about you, not in a good way, that that's not a light thing, okay? Hello, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. I am Darian, and I wanted to do this video speaking about humiliation rituals and it leading you to your next level of elevation. Now, obviously, there are some times that a person can do something to bring about their own humiliation. I'm not really talking about that, okay? Now, I do believe that all things can end up working for your good, okay? But I'm more so talking about this spiritual phenomenon where humiliation happens, but it's not in your control, it's not at your hands. It's just like literally a spiritual attack. And then next thing you know, you are elevated, you are catapulted to the next level. So I have this theory of good and bad as far as humiliation rituals. I understand that humiliation ritual is a buzzword, but basically what I'm talking about is going through something humiliating that you had no control over. It just kind of blindsided you, but okay, it ends up working in your favor. So why does this happen? So I'm going to look at this from a very spiritual perspective. I believe that there are good forces on the side of God, and then there are bad forces, okay, on the side of the enemy, okay? In your life, there is a real enemy. That enemy wants to keep you from your purpose. That enemy wants to keep you from prospering. That enemy wants to end you, okay? But you can't allow that to happen, all right? Because you got stuff to do and you have blessings to receive, okay? All right. Life more abundantly. That is what I live by. Life more abundantly. Ain't nobody coming up in here and taking nothing from me, okay? And if God allows me to go through a season where I feel like I lost something, it is for my good, okay? It is to increase me, to elevate me, for me to have a great comeback, okay? And so that kind of like goes along with the humiliation ritual theme, okay? All right, so let's get into it. So let's start with the bad side of it. So the enemy is going to try to bring humiliation to your life. Again, this is not something that you just went out and you did something that you know you weren't supposed to do and it ended up in that, okay? Again, good can still come from it, but the enemy is trying to bring humiliation to your life, because if he can do that, then what does humiliation do? It makes you feel shame, it makes you feel not good enough, it makes you feel like everybody just saw what just happened to you. So since everybody saw it, you need to go hide, and you need to, it does something to you to where it's, in a sense, it's like the enemy trying to humble you, but you may not have even needed humbling at all, okay? So this is just the enemy's plan against you. For whatever reason, the humiliation could have been. It could be any type of thing. Could have been a person coming up against you, an organization, a group coming up against you. It could be you feel rejected and smear campaigns, all kinds of things, okay? So it could be anything regarding to your life, but you'll know if you have gone through this what it is as pertaining to your life, or what the enemy is trying to do, bring humiliation in your life for. So that is the enemy's purpose of the humiliation ritual. Now let's get into God's purpose. So first of all, the enemy cannot do anything to you if God did not allow it. And God always has a reason for why he allows things to happen in our lives. It could be to teach you a lesson, to protect yourself. So now you have wisdom and discernment to know, okay, I'm not going to do this no more. I'm not going to let these type of people in my life no more. I know how to move now forward. It could be that the enemy has legal rights because of something that has been done in your bloodline by people. It could be from witchcraft, all kinds of things. The enemy now has legal rights, not only to that person because of whatever contractual agreements they have come in, knowingly or unknowingly, okay? Things you have said and come into agreement with, physical things that could have been done to affect people, okay? In certain ways, even down the generation, down the bloodline, okay? And sometimes God just loves a story, okay? He loves to take the underdog and make them on top. He loves to take people that people overlook and assume aren't anybody and have them pop out and be like, yeah, that's my child. Okay. I did this for them. Okay. There was always them, but I needed them to be down here for a little bit so they can learn humility, and not humility that where people want to humble you, but I'm talking about a humility that pleases God. Like you're not walking around, treating people any kind of way. Okay. That type of humility. Okay. You're not walking around puffed up with pride and stuff like that. All right. So there are some times God will allow you to go through hard seasons. It is not to destroy you, but there are also some times that you can open the door for the enemy himself to just come in and wreak havoc and destruction on your life. Okay, so there's a difference between God allowing something and there just being consequences to something. Okay, so we have to be accountable in our lives. But anyway, so the good that comes from a humiliation ritual is God will allow a certain thing to happen because it's going to build you up. Like that comeback is going to be on 110. Okay. So everybody may see you in this one place and then you'll come back. It's going to be like, wow. Like it just set the stage for that elevation, for that next level. Also, it's going to strengthen you. Sometimes being in a low place in life, it teaches you so many lessons. I have to be honest, I don't like a low place, okay? I'm not interested in going back in any more low seasons. Hopefully never, okay? For sure not anytime soon. But I have to be honest about the fact that I learned a lot of the things and got a lot of the wisdom that I have about life in those low places. It wasn't necessarily me being on the mountaintop and in the high places where I learned a lot. It took me going through some really hard things to get the wisdom and knowledge that I have now that can carry me for in my future, okay? So God is literally it's like a twofold thing. Like the enemy has his purpose, but God has his purpose. God is using this humiliation place to boomerang you back and sling you forward into elevation, into that high place that you're supposed to be. Now, I'm a person where I love just really looking at a situation and spiritually discerning what's really going on. Like you can't just be looking at the physical thing of what's going on. You have to be able to discern what's actually going on. And so there are 3 people that have been, they've been in the spotlight for years, like for a while. And more recently, they have had uproar and not all of them, but it's in the past couple of years, they have had an uproar on social media. People have just been in an uproar about these people, okay? And I noticed that all 3 of these people, now these are people that are known, okay? Well known. All 3 of these people have come back in every way, okay? And made it to the top. Past all the smear campaigns, past all the attacks against them, past the humiliation, having the whole world jam into a song about you, not in a good way. That's not a light thing, okay? That is not a light thing to have to handle and go through. There are people that if they know that one person is talking about them, they just feel like they don't know how to come back for that, okay? They don't know how to come back from that. So to have essentially like the whole world jam into a hit song, okay? I'm not saying it's the hit because of the things spoken in it, but it was a pretty catchy song, okay? So everybody was jamming to it. The people may not think like, oh, it's music, okay? But to have to be the person seeing that, yeah, okay? That's all I'm gonna say, okay? So, or even the other cases, like having this other person in the spotlight, this was like a big thing. More so, I think last year. So they had the smear campaign going on. People were trying to set this person up as if they wasn't real, and this and that. That person, okay, back in the day, they were one person. Now this person looks like a whole new person. They have gotten fit. They look good. Okay, they elevated in so many different ways in their career. They got them a hot thing, okay? Okay, they got them a good looking woman, all right? Okay? And the people that were dragging them, I'm not saying that they're not elevated, but it's clear to see that this person has, okay, skyrocketed past a certain place that he was. He's definitely elevated over the years to the better version of himself, okay? And then the other person, it was so interesting to me that these different groups kept attacking this person. First, it was one type of group, we'll just say religious groups, okay? And then the second attack was coming from a different race of people that felt entitled to what the other person was doing, okay? Like the creative aspect that the person was embarking on. And I noticed that after both of these attacks from these two different groups, this person continued to elevate and continued to sell out, continued to do all of these things. Okay. So do you get what I'm saying? The humiliation ritual is to make you stronger. Okay. What's supposed to come from this humiliation ritual is strength, is prosperity, is people having to see that they tried to stop you, they tried to humble you, and not in a good way humble. They tried to throw dirt on your name. They tried to smear your name because they just mad that it's you, okay? It's you that's carrying that light. It's you that draws in the crowds. It's you that has the favor. It's you that has whatever, okay? They're mad, okay, about it. So now they have to smear your name to try to stop you from progressing. Maybe they feel like if they smear your name, people are not going to work with you. People are not going to like you. People are not going to do this and that. And all it's doing is fueling. It's just fueling that boomerang, okay? Every time something is getting done, it's almost like that pullback, that sling. Is it a slingshot? Whatever it is being pulled back even further for a higher acceleration, okay? I like that, y'all. I like that, okay? So I wanted to leave that encouragement with you guys, all right? You have to be on top of why the humiliation is happening. And for me personally, I am a believer in Christ, okay? I walk with Christ, okay? And I'm not talking about in a religious way. I'm talking about have a relationship. And I believe one of the greatest humiliation rituals was Christ, okay? You had all the religious people coming up against him, trying to have him put on a cross. They literally led him where he was supposed to be going, okay? They led him to purpose. This is a spiritual thing, okay? This is a spiritual, I feel like, concept. Like this is just okay, so they literally led him to the cross. They wanted to come for him, okay? The very people who thought that they were right and they just knew it all, and okay, they came for him and they thought they nailed him. They thought they had got rid of him. They thought they put him down. They thought they silenced him, only for him to come back resurrected, okay? In his better form, okay? The purpose had been done, okay? All right. So if you get it, you get it, okay? If you spiritually tapped in, you get it, all right? All right, so if you're going through a humiliation ritual, anything like that, it's for a good purpose, okay? So I thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that you have a great day. Bye.